Okay, hi Nazia. So you've got more essays. Good. That's nice to see. Let's take a look at this about the annoying dog. Let's see what you wrote. Dear Mr. Sabi, I am writing this letter to express my annoyance from your puppy Tommy, whose untimely barks disturbs me during my resting time. Let me explain in brief. All right. Well, it's formal, kind of, but it's not particularly nice or respectful. This comes off a little strong when you say, right off the bat, I'm writing to express this, my annoyance. Okay? There are nicer, more respectful ways to say this. You could have said something like, I'm writing this letter to address the issue with your puppy Tommy. As you may be aware, he is barking all hours of the day and night, causing considerable disturbance. Okay, that's a nice, respectful style. But when you start straight off like this, let me express my annoyance, it comes off a little aggressive. Okay, so that was the first thing. And then all of a sudden you're like, let me explain in brief. It's a command, kind of, and so it also doesn't come off particularly formal or nice or respectful. So you should soften that a little bit as well. You could just say, I will explain below, or, just something like, hopefully we can find a good resolution to this situation, and then go into the next paragraph explaining what happened, okay? Now, you don't have annoyance from something, you have annoyance with something. And then look, barks, disturb, not disturbs, okay? So that was a couple of things in terms of grammar. But for me, really, it was the tone, and I didn't think it matched what needed to be said. All right, let's move on. As you are aware, I work in an aviation company, lowercase a, because it's not a title, as ground staff without the A here. And my working schedule is really hectic and involves both day and night shifts. There are days, I don't know what's going on here. Hang on. There are days when I come home after 24 hours of straight duty, and this requires proper rest and sleep. Unfortunately, Tommy's woof and howl do not allow me to rest any time. All right, well, we don't call it woof, we call it barks, okay? Tommy's barking and howling would have been appropriate here. So Tommy's barking and howling do not allow me to rest any time. I agree, he is a very nice and friendly pet. I'm sure even you must have noticed. His behavior has changed in the past 2 weeks. Okay, I think he is suffering from some health issues due to which he's not comfortable in barking so much. I'm sorry to say, but it is impacting my job due to lack of sleep. I am not, okay, careful here. You can't just combine these two. It's two separate sentences, essentially. You can't just combine them with a comma. You have to do something a little more than that. So, I'm sorry to say, but it is impacting my job. It is impacting my job. And then you could have had here a colon. So, due to a lack of sleep, I'm not able to concentrate on, not in, my work. I would like you to please consult any veterinary doctor and discuss the problem with him so that he could suggest some medications for him. If you need any help or advice, there should be a C here. You can ring me at any time. Regards. Okay. So it certainly got warmer and nicer as you continued, so that was good. There were a number of grammatical mistakes. In fact, I kind of felt like they were rather consistent. So throughout this, there were mistakes. Now, as you get higher in the band score, for grammar, the mistakes get fewer and fewer. So when I see a letter that is understandable and I don't lose any comprehension, but there are consistent mistakes throughout, then for me, that's not one of those like top 3 band scores. Okay. So that should give you a sense of where this falls. You did a good job in terms of developing. So in terms of task achievement, I thought you did a very good job. Like I said, I was a little concerned with your tone in the beginning, but you're still allowed some inconsistencies in tone. Some vocabulary was a little off as well, so that's something I want you to look at. I didn't really see precise vocabulary. Okay, like stuff like woof and howl. Um, it didn't feel particularly precise, and a couple of other things as well. Nothing really high level um, to make you say, "Oh wow, that's a nice collocation," or "That's a nice example of like high level vocabulary." So it was good, but again, you're gonna have to remind me of what score it is you're aiming for. Again, if you're looking for one of those top three, I'm not so sure. Okay, so that's some feedback about this. Let's take a look now at your task 2. Okay, let's take a look now at the one about green energy. It goes without saying that green energy is spreading widely among both advanced as well as emerging nations. Some people say that it is one of the most sustainable energies, IES, for the environment. Okay, you don't need a semicolon here. Whereas others think that it is a serious risk to energy security. Okay. However, I strongly believe that renewable energies such as solar power and hydropower are cost-effective and eco-friendly for the environment. Okay. All right, so this was fine. No grammatical mistakes, no vocabulary mistakes. I thought it was pretty fine. It was pretty safe. This was okay. I can't tell you that I loved this sentence. I want to read the rest of your essay, and then we can talk about why I didn't love it. But it was fine. I mean, it got the job done, and so that's good. All right, let's move on. To begin, generating energy using natural resources such as sun and water is becoming common as well as profitable among developed and developing countries. This is largely because it can be produced on a large scale, without fossil emissions and could fulfill people's apostrophe S power demands abundantly. This is the wrong word here. For example, many farmers in Nepal use, get rid of the S here because it's farmers, use solar power, for their irrigation projects, which gives them affordable power supply along with gives them an affordable power supply along with the healthy environment. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that green energy is highly beneficial for the community in terms of cost as well as healthy atmosphere. All right, this was good except for a couple of little minor grammar mistakes, missing A's, missing thes, things like that. But on the whole, I thought it was very nice in terms of the grammar, in terms of the vocabulary. All that was done well. There was that one little thing here with abundantly. But other than that, it was a nicely done paragraph. Now, let's talk about the issue, though, that I'm a little concerned about with this paragraph. Let's see. Greatly reduces costs and are better for the environment. This is the one view that you're supposed to be talking about here. So, what did you end up telling us? You said it could be profitable. All right. You said that it's produced at a large scale and has no emissions. And then you gave an example. And then you said that it's affordable and healthy for the environment. And then you said that it's beneficial in terms of cost and healthy atmosphere. But you never actually talked about why it's affordable. You mentioned that it's affordable here. You mentioned that it's profitable. You mentioned that it's beneficial in terms of cost. But it was kind of like a by the way. You never actually got into any detail about that. And that's an issue because it's one of the two things that you're supposed to talk about in this paragraph. Reduces costs and is better for the environment. So why does it reduce costs? Why is it cost effective? Okay, this is something you failed to talk about here. And so it's going to affect your score for task achievement. Okay, you just talked about the environment. You talked about it considerably. You said that there are no fossil fuel emissions. You said that people in Nepal use it, and that's really it. And then it provides a healthy atmosphere. So, but you didn't mention anything about the cost issue and about why this energy is cheaper than fossil fuels. Okay, let's move on to the other paragraph. On the other hand, many people believe that using sustainable energies may pose a severe hazard on energy security of any nation. This is largely because maintaining huge stations for hydropower near seas and oceans could face natural disasters such as flood and tsunami, which may lead to disruption in the power supply. For instance, a recent news article. A recent news article published by UAE newspaper stated that, no comma, 70% of residential units in coastal areas of Bangladesh face power cuts for 1 week due to, no comma there, no comma here, due to heavy rain. Okay. When power plants were completely destroyed or destroyed completely. Hold on a second. Faced power cuts for 1 week due to heavy rain. How about this? Destroying power plants completely. That makes more sense. Thus, it's possible to state that sustaining such plants, that's a wrong word, sustaining, wrong word, may lead to severe environmental risk. Okay, now, the problem with this here is that you never told us that these power plants are renewable energy power plants. So then somebody could easily turn and say, well, maybe it's fossil fuel, maybe it's coal, maybe it's whatever. So that could happen anyway. The point is for you to tell us why renewable energy specifically presents a problem. Okay, so what could you have said here for it being a threat to energy security? Well, you could say that first of all, and part of energy security is cost. So the amount of machinery and equipment and technological know-how that is necessary to harness renewable energy makes it very, very expensive in the beginning. Okay, and which makes it cost prohibitive for a lot of countries. And so it's, that's a threat to energy security. They can't possibly have this outlay of cash. Secondly, you could talk about how you need a ton of sunlight or a ton of water or a ton of whatever to supply the energy that even a small town needs. I don't know if that's true. I'm just, arguing that. Okay, so it's difficult for the amount of hydropower or solar power that some areas have to provide the energy that their citizens need. Okay, so this is some of the stuff that you could have said to develop this paragraph more appropriately. So I feel like this was so-so in terms of the development. Okay. Alrighty, and then there were some little vocabulary things again, some wrong words here. So, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that, no comma here, producing renewable energy using sustainable sources with an S, such as sunlight and water, is, get rid of and, inexpensive and, is an inexpensive and climate-friendly act. It is predicted that in future most of the evolving nations will further emphasize implementing, get rid of on, such plans as part of their annual budget. Okay, fine. So it's a nice essay. It's a solid, well done essay, but it's certainly not without its share of issues. So we talked about a bunch of them. We talked about task achievement, and how you developed your topic. We talked about a couple of vocabulary errors, some grammar errors. But for me, the overall effect of it is that it's a good essay, although it could use a little work in order for someone to say, you know what, this is wonderful. Okay, but it's good. It's a solid, well done essay. Okay, now like I said, I don't remember what score it is you need. And I know you said that it will be difficult for you right now at the moment to continue with essay corrections. If you do get a chance and if things should change, I really would like to see more from you. I see that you're really committed to this. I know you've taken IELTS several times, and so I really want us to be able to help you to get there. So, one thing I can suggest to you right now is just go over all of the video corrections and really try to understand and the mistakes that you've been making or any of the weak spots, and see how you can correct them, see how you can kind of overcome some of those. And if you can sign up for some more essay corrections, we are here and we'd love to help you. Okay, so I hope to hear from you. I hope everything goes well, and I want to wish you lots of luck, Nazia.